what you should be doing. Before you hire one employee, you should decide, here's the 4, 5, 6, 7 things that you're going to sell, what you're going to provide. I'm going to provide maintenance for air conditioning, for instance. I'm going to provide repair services. I'm going to provide replacement air conditioners, indoor air quality, and let's say ductwork. And then I'm going to decide, here's what I'm going to charge for those services, and here's what kind of gross profit I can make for each of those. Get all that decided. Then you get a warehouse and you build exactly how you're going to do it inside that warehouse. Then you say, now how are we going to answer the telephone? So you decide how you're going to answer the telephone, and you start writing down those scripts, and you say, and you record those scripts so you can train other people to listen to them. And how are we going to answer customer complaints? And how are we going to have our people talk to our customers our way, not the way they learned from working for the last 3 companies they worked for? What is our way of talking to customers? What is our way of building our Big Mac here? And you put all the key pieces of business that involve your client fulfillment systems. When you get a lead, here's how I sell it, and here's how I do it. And it's the same way of high quality and predictable service every single time. And if you can do that, you don't have any challenges with, unhappy customers, people refer you, because you execute well. So you get all that built, and then you hire trainers and recruiters. Those are the first people you hire. Here's the person that's going to train everybody through the system. Here's the recruiter who's going to recruit people to the school. And you've built yourself a school for your employees to teach them how to do it your way every single time.
That is such a massive, massive gold nugget there that I want everyone to make sure.
But it seems to me they don't hire people and say, well, where'd you work? Oh, well, I worked at Joe's Steakhouse. Well, then you should be able to cook a burger. Go back there and cook a burger.
True.
That's just not how it's done, right?
Right.
And so if you watch the movie The Founder, it's on Ray Kroc and McDonald's, right? The most impactful part of that movie is when the McDonald brothers are at dinner with Ray Kroc, and they're describing how they came up with what they call the Speedy system. And it shows them they drew a chalk outline floor plan of their building on a tennis court at the high school, had all their employees there, and they put to scale on the ground, here's the size of the fryer and here's where it goes. Here's where the Coke machine goes. Here's where the griddle goes. And, here's where the refrigerator goes. And they had their people practice, drill, rehearse inside that chalkboard drawing, making burgers, serving customers, getting fries and Cokes, everything they do, practice inside there. And they would say, no, it's not right. Let's erase the fryer and move it over here, until they got it perfect. And then they trained everybody on that tennis court before they ever opened the doors. So everybody knew exactly what to do. I mean, we think about sports teams. We practice all week to play one game. But in business, we think we can just show up and start doing it. Yeah. And that's just not what you do. I think if you want to solve the employee thing, you got to build a school for your business before you ever start doing business.
I'm so glad the
foundation of any great business, and you look around at any great business, the foundation is that they have a school and say, this is how it's done here, this way every single time. And there's a constant flow of people through that school that fuels the growth of the enterprise.
Love it. So as you were building it, it was like, wow, I wish I would have done that all the way back when.
Well, I think different times in my journey, I've hired different key people. But, what I did first, I think one of the big first leaps I made was I was able to get a guy who was, he just retired out of the Air Force. And so he had management skills already because he was a higher rank. And I was able to get him in and say, look, you got to get, because I had started wrong like everybody else. So I said, you got to get this field off my back. You make sure the work gets done, and I'm going to go build these systems. I'm going to backtrack and do the things that I just described to you that I should have done first.
Mm.
And I got all my systems in place. I got my quality control systems in place. I got my training manuals in place. Why he was making sure the work was getting done and fueling the enterprise.
Mm.
So I would say for me, the first one was, somebody to make sure that the work is going in and customers are happy and you're making a profit on your day-to-day work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Over the course of my journey, though, as I got a little bit bigger, some of the key hires, and one of the things I said in my book, The E-Myth HVAC Contractor, is if I had it to do all over again, I probably would have started with the HR guy or girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would have started with HR thing, where we could really focus on developing people and training people. And so I would have started there. Like Jack Welch. Jack Welch always talks about, his right-hand guy was always his HR guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's about developing people.
Yeah, we're literally in the people business. If you're in a home service business, you're not just selling equipment and supplies, you're selling the people that go out and actually deliver on those supplies. It's extremely people centric.
Right.
So as you were, building your business and keeping that pipeline full and being able to have, that constant supply, because I know in the plumbing trades specifically, I've heard a lot of like this pain point, for those highly skilled trades.
Right. So, first of all, I'll say this. As the leader of the company, you got to be the best recruiter. You just have to be. You have to, like for me, for instance, and even the position I'm in today, I recruit every single day. I recruit for my call centers. I recruit my technicians. I recruit my installers. I recruit my VPs and general managers too. I mean, I'm constantly looking for talent. And so your whole culture, your company needs to be constantly recruiting for talent. Mm-hmm. Now, it's not talent that's going to reinvent the wheel or your systems. It's talent that are going to go through your school and come out and be leaders inside your enterprise, right? Mm-hmm. But, I think last month I personally brought in 6 technicians. I mean, I talk to every single technician and every plumber that I come across. If I'm in the grocery store, they got a uniform, I'm talking to them every time. Mm-hmm. And so to that point, though, I'll say this. Can't get my managers really to do it that well. It might be a skill. So I haven't had a lot of luck with getting other people to do it. So what I did was I put recruiters in every branch. And so, one of our mantras is we have 365-day recruiting here. Every single day, someone is putting an effort on recruiting. And that's going through your Indeeds and your Facebooks and getting out into the trade schools, chasing people down when you see them pulling over to 7-Eleven to get gas. I mean, it's constant recruiting has to be going on in your business. No different than 365-day a year lead generation, right?
Right.
So it's really the same theory there. Another thing I will say is I learned a long time ago when I got my first guy that was smarter than me. And I don't know how I got him. Oh no, it was the Air Force guy. He was better than me, right? He was better at me in leading people. And so I realized, hey, he didn't come and take my company. He had no aspiration to do that. He did a great job for me. He did very well with me. He's still with me today too. But, it gave me the confidence to hire people better than me. I mean, I'll tell you what, I don't have one person on my key management team that's not a lot smarter than me. And so that's another thing you got to think about. You got to be able to have the confidence in yourself to go get talent that's just better than you. They're not going to take what you got. They're just going to add to you, right?
Love that. It reminds me of Steve Jobs quotes. We don't hire people to tell them what to do. We hire people so they tell us what to do.
Right.
If you're the smartest person in the room, or even you feel like you're the smartest person in the room, you're going to have all these people constantly coming up to you, asking you what to do next, what to do. And you can never scale that. you end up being the bottleneck in it. You have to have those other leaders to own those different areas.
Yeah. In 2008, I'll tell you this quick story. In 2008, I was at a barbecue, and I meet this guy. We start talking business, and I like to talk about business, right? So we start talking business, and he ran a $500 million region for a big elevator company in the world. And so we're comparing notes, this and that. He's talking about he's going to be retiring soon. He's a young guy, but he's still retiring and going to try to get a president's job somewhere. And Harvard MBA, right? And so I made up my mind there. This guy's going to come work for me, right? I am getting this man on my team, and I worked that guy every single day for 9 months. And he wasn't having any luck getting the kind of job he wanted. I said, look, I'm going to give you the greatest gift that anyone's ever given you. It might not be sexy coming to work for a small heating and air conditioning company, but I'm going to show you how to run your own company and build your own company, and you'll make 5 times more money than you ever did working for this big multinational corporation, and you'll have some liberty to your life and flexibility to your schedule. Your life will be so much better. You come with me for the next 3 years, and that's what you'll come away with. And so that sold him, right?
Yeah.
So I got him on the team, and this guy took us to levels that I just never thought existed, because he just knew so much more that I didn't know. And we were able to apply some of his other experiences to our company and things that we still use today. And by the way, I honored my promise. He owns a really nice, very highly profitable $20 million plumbing and air conditioning business in San Diego now.
Wow. Fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah. Getting those leaders on your team, those thought leaders on your team, it changes everything, doesn't it? Changes everything when they can take ownership. Because I've talked to a lot of people where they just they're not good at recruiting. They don't know how to do it. They don't know where to post. They don't know what to do. I headhunted my director of operations early on in my career when we were growing, and he was a manager at a trailer manufacturing facility, and he constantly was getting people onto the team. Like, he knew how to do he knew how to do everything. And so when I headhunted him and brought him onto the team, I no longer ever had to worry about recruiting ever again, because he was just so on top of it. He knew so much more than I did. And just that small little power up was like, a shot of adrenaline into the arm of my business.
Right.
It just frees you up to be able to focus on the sales and the marketing. And you can just take the production completely out of your brain and focus on this area of the business still. Because you'll always have something to focus on. It just depends on how high level of those activities are. Right.
Right. And I got to tell you, life is so much easier when you got a team that is smarter, better, faster than you.
True. Amen. Absolutely. That's right. Well, Ken, maybe in conclusion, if you could share your words of advice to the guy or gal that's watching this, that's on the van, on the truck.
So I would suggest everybody think about this. If you have to go out and, if you're hand to mouth, and I've been there, no judgment, I've been there many times, but if you're hand to mouth, then you got to find a way to stop being hand to mouth. You got to go get some investors, get some family money, some friends, try to put some money together so you have some breathing room. And then you can step back and build your business correctly. Build it on a foundation of granite. And the granite is called that school. And this is how we do things. And doesn't mean you have to have everything done in the school, but take your foundation items. Like installing an air conditioning system, some people might think it's a real easy thing and anyone can do it. Well, let me tell you something. If you want to do it right and you don't want to have problems and callbacks and unhappy customers, it's a very complicated thing, and you need to break it down in its simplest forms and teach people how to do it. And you have to do it your way. So that's a selling feature as well, by the way. Hey, this is our way to do it. We have it the same way every single time. So do whatever you can to get some breathing room to start building your foundation. Because if you start building your foundation on sand, you might build something, but it's not going to last, right?
That's true. Yeah. If you're struggling, one of my favorite quotes is, to get somewhere that you've never been means doing things that you've never done. And so if you're totally in chaos and you're just absolutely struggling and feeling like you never have enough time in the day, and you've never hired that person, you've never gotten off the truck, that just might be the one thing that will change everything in your business. But you got to execute. You got to get out there and you got to get it done.
Yeah. I was talking to a fellow HVAC contractor that I've known a long time and recently, and he was talking about his plumbing business. And I don't know why us air conditioning guys love to add plumbing. I don't know why we do it. I mean, I currently have a $60 million plumbing business now, but I think I would have had a $250 million air conditioning business had I not started in plumbing. And it's just because it really is a different trade and you don't know it as well. And again, I didn't start it out right. So I didn't do what I'm telling you to do at first. And so anyway, I said, look, you do, I don't know, he's doing 50, 60, $100,000 a month in plumbing. I said, trust me, shut down your plumbing business tomorrow. Just go shut it down. Like, I can't do that. I need the revenue. I go, you're not making any profit. You're losing money from that activity. Just go shut it down. Tell your customers you don't do any more. Help your plumbers go find other jobs, and let's move on and focus on what you do and what your core competency is. I would not suggest anybody go into another trade until you're number 1, 2, or 3 in your marketplace and what you started with, right?
Love it. You got a lot of people right now that are probably squirming in their chair watching this, thinking to themselves, man, I really needed to hear that right then. I'm going to be making some big decisions now. Cool. Awesome. Well, Ken, man, thank you so much for coming on here and taking time out of your busy day. That you and Michael Gerber co-authored the E-Myth book together. So maybe you can tell everyone where they can go to check you out.
Yeah, Michael. So, it was quite an honor that all these years come around that I built all these businesses off of his book, and I never met him. And had a chance meeting at the Air Conditioning Contractors America convention. And we decided to co-author the book together.
Oh, cool.
So you can get a hold of the book at kengoodrich.com. It also has a message area, and just message me anytime, and I get right back to you. I mean, I talk to, I don't know, 10, 20 contractors a day that reach out to me for various reasons. I like to help. And so, and I'll do this for everybody listening to this group. In the promo code at kengoodrich.com, if you put friend of Ken, all one word, friend of Ken, you can get the book for $1.
Dang. Wow. That's awesome. That's awesome. Wow. That's super generous. Appreciate that, Ken.
Yeah.
Well, we'll drop that link down below where you guys can click on that and go head over and check out Ken's website and check out that book too. Massive fan of Michael Gerber and the E-Myth. In fact, he spoke earlier today, mentioned you by name in his session as well, and how honored he was to work with you as well. So it's cool to have both of you on here and share. I've always wanted to ask.
It was a product of a dream. And people ask me, so Michael, what was your dream? And I said, my dream then is exactly the same as it is today. When my partner then, Tom, and I created the Michael Thomas Corporation, a business development firm, it became the very first small business coaching company in the world.
Wow.
And we sat for quite some time trying to phrase and frame what the point of this was. And it was very simple. Our dream was to transform the state of small business worldwide. Our vision was to invent the McDonald's of small business consulting services.
Love that.
Our purpose was that every single small business owner called by our paradigm could be as successful as a McDonald's franchisee. And our mission was to invent the business development system at the heart of all that, that would enable us to realize our dream, our vision, our purpose, and of course, our mission. And so we've been pursuing that determinedly since that very first day back then in 1977, when I started this journey.
Wow.
The book that came out in 1986 was a product of all that work we had done, creating the very first coaching company in the world and building the very first coaching system in the world, specifically for the smallest of the small. We've always been focused on the smallest of the small. People come into our market and then they leave, going up mid-market, upscale, etc., where the money is.
Right.
We've never gone where the money is. We've stayed where our original passion was, where it is today. And in fact, we have done more work with more, as you call them, home service contractors than anybody else on the planet. And we've designed the method through which to do that. So that's why I'm delighted to be here today.
Oh man. Well, that is, it's so interesting to hear you present it and lay it out in that fashion, because your vision and your mission and your purpose, you can look back over the last few decades and you can see it so unilaterally focused on that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, just the importance of having that clear vision, that
book.
Oh yeah. I wanted the original, Michael.
That's the E-Myth. This is the next one.
Yes.
The E-Myth Revisited. Why most small businesses don't work and what to do about it. It is, in fact, the most successful book on small business ever published. And each year it sells more than it did the year before. This came out in 1995. Every single year since that date, this book has sold more than it did the year before. That's and incredible. Inc. Magazine's top 5,000 small business owners every year have voted this book number one.
I love that. And I'm one of them too. Anytime any entrepreneur, any home service business owner asks me, what business book should I read? The first question I ask them is, have you read the E-Myth book? If you haven't read it, and I'm telling you all right now, if you're watching this right now and you have never read this book before, you really do owe it to yourself to read this book. This really was life-changing for me, and as far as my business was concerned, because just the whole concept is like, I kept telling my wife the entire time that I was reading it, I feel like he's looking at.
Jokes aren't very funny.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But the truth is, the reason you feel that way, and you got to hear this, Brandon, because I've been doing this for years and years and years and years. So I've received so many plaudits from so many people, literally millions of people around the world. And the reason is because I'm in your head. In short, I know how you think.
Yeah.
I know how every single small business technician suffering from an entrepreneurial seizure thinks. And I know how they think because I've seen the outcome of how they think. And every problem they've got, every one of you who are listening to us right now, every single problem you've got is a product of how you think. If I can change the way you think, I can change the way your business does what it does. Literally, I can do that. Now, when I say I'm saying it can do that. Because it's not personal. It's as impersonal as anything could be. But how you think shapes what you do. How you do what you do shapes what your business does. And every single problem you've got is a product of that. Change the way you think and everything will follow. And I swear we've done this tens upon tens upon tens of thousands of times, and it happens exactly the same way every single time. And I can tell you when you're off track, and I can tell you when you're on track by what you do. What you do tells me how you think. How you think tells me what your problem is and what the opportunity is. How absolutely cool is that? I can read your freaking mind.
It's amazing. It is. And it's extremely comfortable to know that that's, it's the same problems we all deal with. One of the things you brought up was a technician with an entrepreneurial seizure.
Yep.
And I think that we have a lot of homes.
I'm an entrepreneur and start my own business. None of them say that. None of them use the word entrepreneur. None of them think of themselves as an entrepreneur. They think of themselves as a widget maker. They think of themselves as a grass cutter. They think of themselves as a plumber, as a widget. Whatever the heck they do, that's how they think of themselves. And that's why they've decided to go out on their own, because they don't need a boss to tell them how to do that.
Right.
So they're all determined to get rid of the boss. And now they're working for a lunatic. Think about it.
Themselves. Right.
Steve Jobs was a creator. Walt Disney was a creator. Oprah Winfrey is a creator. An entrepreneur is a creator of great, big things. So you understand, when somebody decides to start a small business and to run their own small business, that's not entrepreneurial at all. An entrepreneur starts something to grow it. So first of all, they're seized with the possibility of a new opportunity in an old world. A new opportunity in an old world. By changing what is done and how it's done, they're seizing a new opportunity in an old world. And they see the opportunity to grow that, grow that, grow that. Just like Ray Kroc at McDonald's. 52 years old. And he opened his first McDonald's hamburger stand in Des Plaines, Illinois. But he opened it as the franchise prototype for 37,000 more.
Right.
Think about that.
Right.
At 52. That's an entrepreneur.
So do you think that the term entrepreneur is overused these days as people, I call them wantrepreneurs, because I think that they have that big.
They'd like not to have to work so hard. And so if there's any motivation to change in most small businesses, it's to make it easier. Make my life easier. Make my life easier. So most people who are selling stuff to small business owners are selling easy. They're selling easy. It's easy. It's really easy. You're not going to have to work so hard. The business is going to do it for you. They use all my language in the wrong way. So they're appealing to the wrong part of the people I'm talking to. Because the truth is, every human being born in the image of God is born to create. Every human being born in the image of God is born to create. To create what? To create a world fit for God. Well, how do I do that? That's what drives an entrepreneur. That's what drives a creator. So really, I talk about 4 distinct personalities in the small business owner we're calling an entrepreneur. First is a dreamer. Second is a thinker. Third is a storyteller. And fourth is a leader. Dreamer, thinker, storyteller, leader. The dreamer has a dream. The thinker has a vision. The storyteller has a purpose. And the leader has a mission. So our first and most important thing with a small business owner we're calling an entrepreneur. First is a dreamer. Second is a thinker. Third is a storyteller. And fourth is a leader. Dreamer, thinker, storyteller, leader. The dreamer has a dream. The thinker has a vision. The storyteller has a purpose. And the leader has a mission. So our first and most important thing with a small business owner is to help them discover a dream. Our dream to transform the state of small business worldwide. Why worldwide? Well, if I can do it in Minneapolis, I can do it anywhere.
Right.
You follow me? Storyteller. And fourth is a leader. Dreamer, thinker, storyteller, leader. The dreamer has a dream. The thinker has a vision. The storyteller has a purpose. And the leader has a mission. So our first and most important thing with a small business owner is to help them discover a dream. Our dream to transform the state of small business worldwide. Why worldwide? Well, if I can do it in Minneapolis, I can do it anywhere.
Right.
You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
If I can do it right here in Carlsbad, California, I can do it anywhere. Because if I do it the way I intend to do it, by creating a system that does it, then I can replicate that system any place I so choose. It's absolutely a foregone conclusion. So we say, we'll help you find your dream, we'll help you find your vision, we'll help you find your purpose, we'll help you find your mission. And that's where all the juice is. Do you understand? That's where the juice is. That's where the heart is. That's where the passion is. It's not to go out and do the work, to mow the lawn, to fix the leak. It's not that work. That work's going to be done by the guys you hire to do that work. You train to do that work. You manage to do that work. You inspire to do that work. So yes, that's the role of an entrepreneur. But hear me, let's not call it that. Let's just call it the creator. Let's just say every single human being on the planet is a creator, dying to learn how to discover how to create. Create what? A great growing company. You get to do it, I get to do it, everybody gets to do it because there's a way to do it. So in our case, we call that the eightfold path. A dream, a vision, a purpose, a mission, the job, the practice, the business, the enterprise. The eightfold path. Step one is the dream. Step two is the vision. You follow me? It's a process.
Yes. Yeah.
And I came to learn how to discover how to create. Create what? A great growing company. You get to do it. I get to do it. Everybody gets to do it because there's a way to do it. So in our case, we call that the eightfold path. A dream, a vision, a purpose, a mission, the job, the practice, the business, the enterprise, the eightfold path. Step one is the dream. Step two is the vision. You follow me? It's a process.
Yes. Yeah.
And I can walk anybody through that process. Anybody. I don't care how resistant he is. I don't care how absolutely unwilling she is. I can walk anybody through that process and they can't help but get excited.
Yeah, that's amazing. Isn't it amazing what is it like to, with a restaurant or a business transaction or something, and to just see systems kind of in that way? What's that like to experience that?
Well, it's a higher form of living. You effectively rise above everything and look down on it.
Right.
You effectively rise above everything and look down on it. And everything in life is a system.
Mm-hmm.
Digesting, My lunch is a system.
Mm-hmm.
Eating lunch is a system. Buying lunch is a system. The less systemic it is, the more difficult it is. The more systemic it is, the more productive it is.
Mm.
Steve Jobs wore the same shirt every day.
Mm-hmm.
Not the same one. It was the identical same shirt. He just had a lot of them in the closet.
Right. No decision fatigue. Just
He didn't want to think about it.
Yeah.
He has more important things to think about.
Right.
Then what am I going to wear today? Can you imagine him having to think about what am I going to wear today?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's really down on the bottom of the ladder. So my point is, everything's a system. You begin to see how systems work and systems don't. And the minute you see how systems don't work and how systems do work, you know how to fix the system that doesn't work to make it a system that does work.
Love that, man. So well put. Love that. You know, one of the things you say that from reading your books, and it's one thing that I repeat to everybody else, that right.
How you think is what you do. You do what you think. You do what you think. You do what you think. And their thought is telling them, I've got to do that. I've got to do that. I've got to do that, because they don't see any option. And they use as an excuse, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough people. I don't have enough of this. I don't have enough of that. They don't, in fact, start in exactly the way we say, with a blank piece of paper and beginner's mind. So we have to organize how you think. And hear me, it's so much easier than most people think it is. We simply have to organize the way you think. So we've created a thought process that anyone who has built anything, who has made anything, who has cleaned anything, who has done anything, understands there's a process. Step 1 is this, step 2 is this, step 3 is this. Everything is a process. A process over time is a system. And so all we have to do is to inculcate their doer's mind to understand that the very best doers in the world are those who do systemically. They know what to reach for, like the surgeon. They know what they're reaching for. They know when they found it, and they know how to use it when they get back here. It's a system. And if that system didn't exist, I pity the poor patient.
That's very true. We're very grateful for systems living in our life, aren't we? So
to organize the way you think. So we've created a thought process that anyone who has built anything, who has made anything, who has cleaned anything, who has done anything, understands there's a process. Step 1 is this, step 2 is this, step 3 is this. Everything is a process. A process over time is a system. And so all we have to do is to inculcate their doer's mind to understand that the very best doers in the world are those who do systemically. They know what to reach for, like the surgeon. They know what they're reaching for. They know when they found it, and they know how to use it when they get back here. It's a system. And if that system didn't exist, I pity the poor patient.
That's very true. Break out of the field. He's on the truck. He's doing the labor. He's doing the services.
Well, there's 2 ways to do this. Now, first of all, the easiest way is join us at Radical You in the dreaming room. And vision, what's your purpose, what's your mission? Until you have a feeling for that, until you have a love for that, until you have a hope for that, until you have a desire for that, then all we're doing is working with old code.
Right.
And we're not going to work with old code. We're not going to fix it. We're going to start with new code. So understand old code is the business you've got. Our whole relationship with old code is to make it sustainable. not to grow it, to make it sustainable. How do you make it sustainable? You work on the operating system of Oldco. Lead generation, lead conversion, client fulfillment. That's the entire operating system of Oldco. Lead generation, lead conversion, client fulfillment. Lead generation, this is how we attract people to us. Lead conversion, this is how we lead generation, this is how we attract people to us. Lead conversion, this is how we enroll them. And client fulfillment, this is how we keep them. That's all you focus on to optimize your franchise prototype, your Oldco franchise prototype. As you begin to do that, your business becomes more dependable. As it becomes more dependable, you can replace yourself in roles you play in it. As you replace yourself in role number one, you're now free to go to work on new code.
I love that.
You follow me?
Yeah, it's so good.
It's like a mechanical process to produce a metaphorical result.
Yeah.
And anybody can do it. The only people who can't do that are just somebody who's just so resistant. But, and they don't want to think about it.
They don't have the beginner's mind, which you talked about.
Right.
You know, if you're going to talk about going to work at Newco, it requires having that beginner's mind, that beginner's heart. You have to be able to, one of my favorite quotes is to do things that you've never done, or to get somewhere that you've never been requires doing things that you've never done.
You got it.
And you have to have that beginner's heart, that beginner's mind to be able to work at Newco. I love that. Keep Oldco sustainable so that you can free up time to go work on Newco.
And in a way you never thought it could be done. So understand the surprises that come as we work with small service companies, home service companies. That's what we're talking about here. You understand this applies to every business.
Yeah.
Over the past several years, we've now published 19 vertical e-myth books.
Wow. The uncertainty of where we're at right now and the impact to small businesses and what's going on with the coronavirus. And, you know, this is just another disruption, as many disruptions that we've experienced in the past and will continue to experience. So I'm sure there's a good universal answer that applies to even this unique circumstance. But what would you, if you were to write another chapter or another business book about dealing with our current economic challenges that we're dealing with right now, what would you encourage entrepreneurs to do when the future feels so uncertain?
Well, let me say, and this is, nobody likes this answer. Nobody likes this answer.
Should everyone buckle up here, Michael? Should we brace ourselves?
Last year in the United States of America, 550,000 small businesses shut their doors. Last year. The year, no coronavirus. The year before that, about the same. The year before that, about the same. Now, next year, and the rest of this year, there'll probably be over 600,000 doors locking. But it's not a new phenomenon. We're only recognizing it because we're absolutely out of control in relationship to it. But hear me, every one of those 550,000 last year were completely out of control too. And there was no virus. So, and the year before, and you didn't listen, and you didn't listen, and you didn't listen. You have to wake up to the reality that if I can help you change the way you think, I can transform the way you live your life. Literally. Transform the way you live your life. Because the E-Myth book is a system for living a productive, optimally joyful, truly remarkable life. Business, no business, entrepreneur, no entrepreneur. I swear to God, it is the key to everything that ails everyone who's listening to us right now. And the most positive thing I can say about it is I'm the most optimistic man on earth. And I see broken businesses everywhere I look. Everywhere I look. broken, 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 broken. And it's all a product of broken minds.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't see straight, you don't do straight. If you don't think straight, you don't make straight.
Mm-hmm.
You can't.
Mm-hmm.
So all you got to do is change the way you think. And that's the business we're in.
I love that. That's fantastic. You know, and actually
I have and created Radical You, the eightfold path, a dream, a vision, a purpose, a mission, the job, the practice, the business, the enterprise, the evolution of an enterprise from a company of one to a company of 1,000. Every single small business owner or person who wants to become a small business owner should join us at Radical You. And here's the gift we're giving. We're going to give you the entire year at Radical You for $10. $10 once.
Wow.
That's it. A $10 bill once. And that's only to say, I'm in.
Wow.
And then we're going to provide you with weekly video sessions to go through the process of discovering your dream, discovering McDonald's,
Mm-hmm.
so that when you're done with year 2, you're now ready to grow it and build your franchise prototype. And build your franchise prototype so you can replicate it to create a business. And build your business so you can replicate it to create an enterprise. Just like that. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Well, you get the point.
Love it. Love it, Michael.
$10. Do you think
that's
can
a
anybody
generous
afford
offer?
$10?
That's a pretty generous offer. Absolutely. So we actually have a button right on the side of the page here that's going to be a link directly over to that offer right there so that you can take advantage of that. And from the author of the E-Myth book, multi-million entrepreneurs that have been impacted by your teachings in your book, Michael, I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to hang out with all of us home service entrepreneurs here and home service business owners. I'd like to ask you, if you were to say one single thing to wrap up to the person who is on the truck right now, in the thick of it, doing the technical work, what piece of encouragement would you give them to get them off of the truck, to take that first leap of getting out of the business to be able to work on it?
Go to work on your life to create new life so you can transform the state of your life from here on.
Love it.
Go to work on your life to create a new life so you can transform the state of your life from here now on. Life. I give you my word on that, because we've fixed tens upon hundreds upon millions of them over the course of these past 43 years. Now your turn, but you can get to do it for $10.
Love it. Love it. Awesome. Come on, people.
Come on. Get us 1 million people, Brandon, 1 million people this week.
Sounds good. I'm on it, man. I'm on it. We'll get it going.
Got it.
Yeah. Thank you again so much, Michael, for your time. And thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you in the next session.